Heart wants what the heart wants, and what this heart wants to do is not do this. What's up, kiddos? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another installment of Tales of Tragedy. Today's tale is actually a very not nice one that is embarrassing for me to talk about, but there's no point in putting yourself out on the internet unless you're going to be brutally honest, because then somebody else will dig up your secrets for you, and then you're out in front of the world, and they think you've lied, and I don't want that to happen, so I'm getting all of the stories out before anything traumatic happens to me, and I don't feel as if I can leave my home anymore. So this story involves middle school me. As a side note to you guys, and something you may not know, I was homeschooled from 2nd grade to 6th grade, so I didn't get back to public school until I was in 7th grade, when everyone was turning 13 and hormones were a thing. I don't know what the freak my parents were thinking. A secret of mine that I think is not my way of doing it on the internet or officially, because it happened years ago. I'm bisexual. I have had boyfriends, I have had girlfriends, I have had male crushes, I have had female crushes. Some of them have gone phenomenally, some of them have been unrequited, some of them have ended in absolute flame and torment. Yeah, a lot of flames and a lot of torment. But this is about an instant in my life where I came out as bi, and most of my friends, most of them, were okay with it. So I was free to start acting a bit more like myself, which is awesome. Please, if you're out there, support the people that you know who are coming out. It's a very, very hard thing to do, and it can be very scary. That is my Good Samaritan deed for this video, but the rest of this will be funny, and I'm trying to make you guys laugh, so let's get into it. So this story is about 7th grade year old me, just turned 13. So within a few days, everybody knew I was bi. Basically, it was an even spread of people who were cool with it, people who were not sure how to deal with it, and then other people who were just dickheads about it, which is middle school. Everyone's a piece of shit in middle school. Basically, there was a boy in my class that I was absolutely in love with. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna call him Mortimer, Morty for short, just to keep him safe and to not have him come after me for telling this horrendous story. Mortimer, Morty for short, was an absolute hunk of dreamboat for a kid like me. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed, he played guitar, he also did sports, he was a well-rounded student, he got mostly A's and B's, but he was just perfect, and I had been watching him from afar for about 3 to 4 months at this point. I didn't know if he liked me. I didn't know if I actually would like him. I actually hadn't spoken to him until this happenstance. I was happy to admire from afar, but a friend in middle school, who is no longer a friend now, specifically for this instance, for the sake of this video, I'm going to call her Mavra. And Mavra had a group of girls that followed her around, who I am titling the Not-So-Plastics. It's girls who thought they were women, who had not even begun to grow into womanhood. Over about 2 months, she and her little festering boil of a posse convinced me that Mortimer had a crush on me, and he wouldn't tell me because as a human being, he was actually a pretty quiet and shy kid. So one day, I plucked up enough courage to walk up to him and ask him to be my boyfriend. And this is horrible. And I'm actually uncomfortable. I know this looks like I'm trying to be funny. I'm not. This is a horrible memory. But I walked up to him during recess. Oh boy. With Mavra and her entourage watching. And I walked up to him with all of the swagger and confidence of a frickin' manatee on its first date with dry land. And I looked at him and I basically said very, very quickly and very, very abruptly, hey, Morty, do you want to be my boyfriend? Note to self, don't do that. I like scream shouted it at him. It wasn't coherent. And because I didn't do it, he kind of looked at me and went, sorry, but I didn't hear what you said. So I had again, and like 3 of his friends were here at this point. And I kind of did the like shy, like coy, like over the shoulder thing. I can't do it now because I'm too wide, but back then I was a narrow boy. I walked up to him and I basically went, I was wondering if you like wanted to be my boyfriend. And even though I was shy about it, I was confident. I had been told that this boy liked me. I had been told that this boy had feelings for me. I had been told that this boy treasured me and worship the ground that I walked on, or at least that's the conclusion I came to in my head when Mavra and her posse told me, which is not correct. This is so awful. But he got pretty close, and my heart's pounding at a mile a minute because I feel like he's about to like drop down on one knee and like propose his love to me, and we're gonna ride off into the sunset on some white stallion that's going to appear out of nowhere, because this boy was my first Disney-esque prince. He was everything I looked for in a dude when I had no filter and no standard. But he basically went, look, dude, I think you're great, but I have a girlfriend. Unbeknownst to me, he was dating a girl at another school. I am now now mortified, and I've literally just frozen up with my eyes buck wide open, staring kind of like between his nose and forehead, and I don't know what to do at this point. So I did the only thing that I could do when faced with rejection as a shitty, discovering his sexuality teenager who didn't know how to deal with oppressive masculinity and how to deal with his feelings. I punched him in the crotch and ran away inside and hid in the bathroom for the next 2 periods and cried out all of my feelings, and then went to class and pretended like nothing had ever happened. Thankfully, because he is such a sweet guy, he was so nice in the way that he handled it. He obviously didn't want to embarrass me in front of his friends, but he also wanted to be honest, which is like such a mature way to go about this, and I acted so shittily. And anyway, Mavra and her posse pretended to be friends with me after that, and I wasn't friends with them. But I had a payback moment about 2 or 3 years later, because I dated Mavra for about 4 months, despite the fact that she completely ruined any chance I had with Morty. We dated for 4 months, and then I was sent a video from her of her cheating on me with the boy on my school's football team. So obviously I cried about that too. And the way I dealt with it at that point in time was going to the gym and getting in about the best shape I've ever been. I was a junior in high school at this point. And I came back to school after, I think it was Christmas break, looking the best that I ever had. This isn't that now. That's not even close. I'm not even close. But I remember seeing her with a redneck boyfriend who already had 2 missing teeth because he chewed tobacco and his freaking beer gut because he no longer played football, look at me, lock eyes, and have that moment of, oh no, I messed up. And you're darn right you did. Because if there's one thing that most of my friends and family know about me at this juncture in my life, you don't mess with love in front of me, especially when that love is mine. So that's that. I was a shitty kid. And yeah, I punched a boy in the crotch because he didn't want to date me. And the way I reacted was not okay. But, yeah.